Hi everyone and welcome to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to take you through how I paint lilac cloth, and I'm using one of my free guild cavaliers to do this tutorial. So over a chaos black undercoat, however any undercoat will do just fine. I'm just going to apply some DAEMONETTE hide and using my wet palette for this, and also as you can see the paint is fairly watered down. And just trying to get a really even coat over all of this and give that about 10 minutes to dry and then apply a second coat. So as you can see, we have a really smooth coat of DAEMONETTE hide. So now I'm going to move on to XEREUS purple and LAHMIAN medium, looking at a 50-50 mix of this, and add, I would say, about 2 to 3 drops of water, as I wanted this shade to be quite light. And just using one of my cheap nylon brushes now to just apply that into the recesses. As you can see, it's really subtle. So after having applied 2 coats of the XEREUS purple and LAHMIAN medium and water mix, I'm now going to add some VORBAK red to that previous shade mix, and just a little bit more water as well. Now the reason for this is that I wanted to create a sort of subtle, sort of like a cherry purple, cherry red sort of color, just as an additional shade, and really just following over the previous shade that we did as well. And you can really see how subtle the shading is for this particular cloth that I'm working on, as I did add a very decent amount of water. And now just returning to the other side, just to apply an additional coat. Realistically, you probably want to allow a little bit more drying time between applications. However, for the sake of the tutorial, I thought once I applied on one side, I'd just jump straight back to the other. Most importantly though, just to make sure that the shade doesn't pool. And yeah, just make sure that these are really thin coats as well. And now returning to DAEMONETTE hide, just to begin cleaning up the cloth. And I'm now using as I have frequently been using this brush in more recent tutorials, my Raphael 8404 size 30 brush. Highly recommend these brushes, they're really affordable, and they do last quite a while with proper care. And now moving on to a 50-50 mix of DAEMONETTE Hide and DECHALA Lilac. And just to mention as well, I have been using my wet palette throughout the entirety of this tutorial. It just makes it a lot easier to jump back and forth between those colours and make sure that you keep those mixes wet. As using a regular paint palette, you'll find that the paint does dry relatively quickly. And when painting details such as this, it's definitely ideal to have a wet palette. Now as a final touch, I'm just going to use some DECHALA Lilac. And also just to mention as well, besides the obvious sort of raised area highlights, you can add little scratch marks on the cloth just to make it look a little bit more worn and textured. As you can see, I haven't added that many, but just a few, just using the very tip of my brush. And again, the brush that I'm using, definitely ideal for little details such as that, as you can see, it holds just such a fine point, and it just takes so much of the work, the extra work out for you if you have really good quality brushes. As it just makes applying them so much easier. And here are some photos of the completed miniature, so I hope you found this tutorial useful today. I'll certainly have some more tutorials coming in the near future, particularly some more Space Marine focused tutorials, but leave a comment below of something that you might like to see me do in the near future. Hit that subscribe button today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in the next one.